Coming up on Tech Now, we go shopping with the new Square card case. Getting social for charity, how Google brought them together. If you're looking for a job, we've got the startup you should make job one. And check this out. The future looks electric for Tesla's SUV. From the Tech Museum of Innovation in the heart of Silicon Valley, I'm Scott Budman. This is Tech Now. Thanks for watching. We begin with a look into the future and a first take at what Tesla plans for its SUV. It's the latest green machine from Tesla Motors, and this time they went SUV. Tesla calls it the Model X, and it will eventually be the third car in the Silicon Valley company's lineup. One cool feature you notice right away, the doors.
So one of the main inventions of the Model X is something we call the Falcon Wing doors.
Shades of the DeLorean, but for a big family. The Tesla will seat 7, and the doors will let you and your kids get in and out more easily, even giving you shelter from the rain. It's a fully electric car with, Tesla claims, a faster 0 to 60 time than a Porsche 911. The company and its backers say it's all in the design.
We need to imagine how we can change the design, because we can work our way out of our mess with creativity and openness and the kind of spirit that is willing to take risks.
And people are willing to open their wallets for a car already drawing big crowds. Without a final set price for the Model X, Tesla says pre-orders will top $40 million out of the chute. Tesla says it hopes to start production of the Model X next year with sales in 2014. Like previous models, you can pre-order the SUV now. Now to a story of a Silicon Valley man who networked his way into a huge group of talented people who decided to use their talents to help charity with a big dose of Silicon Valley technology.
And the unique thing about this shot is that you have a low fog.
Ivan Makarov loves to talk photography.
On the cover, we'll have all pictures.
He's also an amazing photographer who's been networking his way around the world on Google+.
Started in the US and then just spread all over.
And after virtually meeting hundreds of other photographers, the group decided to pool their talents and put together a book of pictures, with all profits going to charity, a truly international effort to help.
We have people from Serbia, we have people from Japan, we have people from New Zealand, all places in Europe, people from South America, and few from Africa. So really from four corners of the world.
Google's Plus takes it beyond search, giving the company yet another fast-growing platform. With 90 million people on board, Plus is taking off.
It's all just one click of a button.
Giving people another way to come together.
But we're really taking that knowledge acquisition to the next level, because they're having this personal one-on-one experience with, you know, from their amateur level to like an expert level. And they're engaging with people at you know, in all sorts of new ways.
It's a way to get these photographs seen by thousands of people online, and a way to create a project you'll be able to hold in your hands.
The tools around talking to each other were really easy, and so that really enabled us to communicate more openly than ever before.
Picture this, a big group using technology to make the world a smaller place. Now to your smartphone. It's not just for tweeting and apps anymore. Okay, it is for a whole lot of things, but it may also soon make your wallet obsolete. They roast their own beans, craft every mocha and latte, and at Sight Glass Coffee Bar and Roastery, they let you pay in a new way. You may have seen these Square card readers. You swipe your credit card and you're good to go. Now it's even easier. You can use your smartphone.
There's no new action you have to learn here. It's just you walking in and doing what you always do.
The technology is called near-field communication, a way for a growing number of merchants to scan your Android or iPhone app and remove money from your account or credit card. You can even tip. Square's app is called Card Case. Google also has a way to pay called Google Wallet.
It allows them to enter their favorite business, place an order, and leave. We're not trying to introduce any new actions, any new awkward interactions. You don't have to take out your phone and wave it anywhere. It's just you and your favorite business.
No more searching for cash. You don't even need your wallet. And yes, it's quick and convenient, but Square says there's also a security component here. Not only does the cafe recognize my phone, it recognizes me because of the photo I took. And security is important. As with any new technology, this one will take time to adapt.
It's a very cool technology. It's very cutting edge. But you always have to remember, cutting edge, you sometimes draw a little blood with that cutting edge, right?
That's McAfee's Bruce Snell. His company recently put out a warning about near-field communication, saying with this kind of paying power, it's important to keep your apps and your data to yourself.
So number one thing is to make sure you control whoever has access to your phone. And a lock is a really good way to do that.
So before you shop with your phone, password protect it. It'll make it easier to get a Square deal the next time you come here. On that note, privacy is big business these days, especially in the mobile world. And on that note, we caught up with a startup working to make your phone safe, one touch at a time. Let's face it, your phone is your computer. And so, it's a target for spyware and viruses.
It knows who you are, may have financial information, may have your corporate email. It knows where you are with the ability to track your location via GPS.
Kevin Mahaffey is here to help. His company, Lookout Mobile, has been making antivirus software to protect Android and iPhones for several years. Now, they're on the ball with something new, an app to tell you where the spyware is lurking. Each dot represents a mobile threat to your phone.
One of the keys to security is definitely education, so that you as a user can understand what the bad guys are doing, what the scams are, so you know what to do to protect yourself.
The app is free to download. It's for Android phone users who have been hit hard by spyware as hackers have targeted Android devices. If you have an iPhone, yes, Lookout has an app for you too. It warns you about unsafe Wi-Fi hotspots and downloads.
Only download apps onto your phone from trusted places, from, say, the Android market, the Apple App Store, or an app store provided by your carrier.
A startup growing along with the need for smartphone safety, one touch at a time. Speaking of mobile, here's a very cool app that's software for mobile devices. It actually allows you to remove an item from a picture. It's called Scalato, and here's how it works. You snap a picture and you look at it. Is something in the way? If it is, you touch it, and Scalato removes it from your picture, giving you exactly the image you hoped for. Mobile is also the one thing really going well for Barnes & Noble. The giant bookstore admitted its retail sales are only up a bit, but online sales are much better, led by the new 8-gigabyte Nook. This is truly giving the Amazon Kindle Fire a run for its money and also bringing Nook users onto the internet to shop. And here's an IPO investors will soon shop for. No, it's not Facebook. It's Yelp. The company that lets you review things is about to get reviewed by investors. Came out with an initial IPO range of $12 to $14 a share. Pretty soon, you'll be able to own a piece of the company. In his recent State of the Union address, the president said one way to bring new jobs to this country is to bring manufacturing and manufacturing jobs back. So we went looking in Silicon Valley and found a mixed bag. The president would be proud, not just because his face is on this shirt, but because the face on the shirt and the shirt itself is made in America, specifically in Silicon Valley.
We believe in manufacturing in the United States.
That's Jeff Beaver, co-founder of a company called Zazzle. Based in Silicon Valley, they do their manufacturing here. They're also growing, hiring, and partnering with a company called Rickshaw, which makes these bags, you guessed it, in the Bay Area.
Local production is a competitive advantage when consumers want something that's topical or recent, right? Because mass production overseas takes months to actually, produce in large volume, and, obviously it's really impossible to predict demand 6 or 9 months ahead of the time.
But while Zazzle is not alone, Intuitive Surgical makes its robots here, and Solaria makes its solar panels here. Chip companies like Advanced Micro Devices no longer manufacture here, instead relying on innovation for growth.
And so I actually think the growth, while it won't be in the manufacturing side of it here in the Valley or in the country, it's actually, I think, going to be in the design engineer side of it.
And what about Apple? Recently called out for its reliance on overseas production.
The reality is that most manufacturing has really shifted pretty much to Asia, and you're never going to get that back.
Longtime industry watcher Tim Beharan says the U.S. just can't match the cost, even the skills that Apple needs.
Even if we did, based on the way our labor is and the cost of doing business is, an iPhone that you would get today for $199 would probably be double that cost.
It may work for smaller companies, but most big firms haven't made anything here in a while. And the outlook? More tags saying made somewhere else. And here's something you probably don't think of when you hear made in Silicon Valley: chocolate. This might be the tastiest assembly line in the history of business. Chocolate, strawberries, and more chocolate moving through the Guittard Chocolate Company in Burlingame. Surrounded by the tech industry, but leaving the gadgets to others, this place is all about love.
Love is a business, and this year business is booming.
According to the National Retail Federation, chocolate, along with flowers and other love tokens, will pull in $17 billion this year. What had been a drizzle of spending during the recession is now, in better times, a chocolate fountain worth of spending.
According to our survey, people plan to spend several dollars more than they did last year on Valentine's Day, largely because they're going for those big ticket purchases like jewelry. So when retailers see people buying things, especially discretionary items, for Valentine's Day, they believe it's an encouraging sign as we continue and our economy continues to recover.
And talk about spreading the love. FedEx says Valentine's Day traffic is getting a big boost this year. They'll deliver millions of pounds of chocolates, increasing daily traffic by 10% for the week of Valentine's Day. Which begs the question, who's sending all that chocolate? But you probably already knew that.
Men and women are both spending for Valentine's Day, but men are spending tremendously more than women. The average man plans to spend about $170 on Valentine's Day this year.
A sweet statistic for our economy. And in case you're wondering, the Guittard Chocolate Company does not normally give tours of its factory. We just got lucky.
There's much more to come on Tech Now. After the break, reaching out to make the tech industry more inclusive. And if you want to go electric and help the environment, we found an app for that.
Welcome back. This year marks 10 years of the Music Tech Convention, a good place to check out the cool mix between technology and music. We spoke to Music Tech founder Brian Zisk about his show.
When we started this, we really wanted to get the community together. We knew there were a phenomenal number of awesome music technology folks in the Bay Area. The industry has changed, and no longer is it about shipping plastic discs all over the place. You can make music, put it online, get paid. I mean, what killed more musicians in the past, they'd make their first album and they'd print 1,000 of them and they'd sell 500 and they'd feel like they were failures. Now, if you sell 500 albums on iTunes and make $5,000, it's a big success. So it's really changed, and no longer do you have to sign away your rights in order to take part in the industry. You can keep your rights and really build a successful career around the work that you've created. But as the industry grows, the show's going to grow along with it. And more success stories will come out, and people will keep helping each other, and we're just going to be a healthier ecosystem here in San Francisco.
Thanks, Brian. We know technology moves fast because we use it. But what about the people who make it? Are some being left behind? TechNow's Garvin Thomas has a story of one woman who wants to make technology more diverse.
Hi, this is Kimberly Bryant.
Kimberly Bryant would like a little company.
Okay, thank you.
Now, by that, we don't mean she's looking for anyone to share her table. Rather, she's looking for a lot of someone's to share her career. You see, Kimberly Bryant is an African-American woman in technology. And whenever she found herself among other tech types, one thing always stood out: her.
And I noticed that there are not too many people of color in the room, and there definitely weren't that many women either.
Now, Kimberly heard from many manager types. It's not that African-American women weren't getting hired, it's that they just weren't among those applying. And so Kimberly figured if she wanted company, she was going to have to do something about it, and Black Girls Code was born.
Black Girls Code is an organization focused on helping girls of color from underrepresented communities learn about digital programming and technology and becoming the builders and creators of tomorrow.
Now, barely a year-old, Black Girls Code is exploding. Twice as many girls showed up for the first class last fall than Kimberly expected. Black Girls Code just received a Google Rise Award, and people wanting to start their own chapters are calling from literally around the world.
Iowa, Africa, Hawaii, Idaho, Alaska, saying, I want a chapter, this is great. How can I start a chapter here? You have multiple authors.
Kimberly was also recently asked to be a mentor for the PBS Kids series Psy Girls. In Kimberly's episode, shooting this week in San Francisco, she helps a team of Bay Area girls design a mobile media app for the California Academy of Sciences. Kimberly's goal in all of this is to, of course, help girls, not the least among them, Kimberly's own 13-year-old daughter.
One of our taglines for Black Girls Code is build the future, and I believe that. I'm an engineer, so I like to build things. But in this case, I'm not building an engine, I'm building the minds of the future.
But Kimberly has found changing other lives is changing hers as well, and technology is no longer her singular passion.
I really developed a passion for helping girls and really being a mentor and a coach to girls, and that passion, it means more to me than any paycheck that I would get from a job. It's just...
Thanks, Garvin. You can find out more about that program by logging on to the website blackgirlscode.com.
Stay with us. Tech Now has a way to make your life more electric. And guess who's hiring? We found a startup whose job is to get you a new job.
Earlier in the show, we gave you a peek at this, the third Tesla vehicle to eventually hit the showroom. They call this one Model X, and it's a crossover SUV, fully electric, featuring rear doors that fly open. It's likely to be on the market in late 2013 or early 2014. Tesla is taking pre-orders now. Whether you're trying to help the environment or just speed up your commute, electric cars are catching on, and there are many, many apps for that. Armin Petrosian is the CTO of a company called Zatori that makes the apps. Thanks for joining us, Armin.
Sure.
Tell me first,
Thanks
you've
for
got
having
a
me.
couple that sort of bring data together and tell us how we're doing with our cars. Tell me about that.
Sure, so we have one app, it's called Green Charge. It was launched last week, and it serves as a sort of dashboard for your car. So it pushes information about your car, how fully charged it is, how much it costs you to charge, and how much range you have remaining, so you can always keep track of your car no matter where you are.
So the whole idea of range anxiety, which we hear a lot about, you know, for people that are buying these cars, it'll tell you how far you have and, you know, how much charge you have?
And so you don't even have to go outside to check on your car like you would. If you had a gas car, you'd go outside, see how full your tank is. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You can just look from your phone and see right away if you have enough charge left to go to where you want to go.
Do you find that a lot of electric car buyers are jumping into the tech because they're kind of thinking that way anyway, so the idea of adapting to some technology like that makes sense?
I think so. I think there's a lot of overlap between people who would own smartphones and are interested in buying an electric car. So we found that people are really excited about trying out new apps for their car. So this is a really natural fit for this market.
All right, now you've got another one. We hear about the idea of sharing technology and resources a lot, and you've got one that allows people to share their electricity. Tell me about that.
So another one of our apps is called Plug Share, and the way that works is you can find public charging stations that are anywhere in the United States, and also you can share your own outlet. So if you have a spare outlet in your garage, you can just put it on Plug Share, and then if there's an EV owner who's in need of charge, they can come by your house, they'll ask you, hey, can I charge there? And you can let them use your plug.
And will I be able to, if I'm one of those EV owners, find, you know, via GPS where you are if you're willing to share?
So you can see a map full of houses as well as public charging stations, and you know, depending on how you're feeling, if you need to use a public charging station, you'll use that. if you're feeling like you want to talk to someone or interact, you can ask someone who's sharing their home outlet and go to their house and charge
Almost
there.
like the Airbnb of electric charging
Exactly.
stations. Excellent. So tell me how to find these apps if I want to find them.
So you can find PlugShare in the iPhone App Store if you just search for PlugShare, it's one word, or for Android, we have that available. Or you can even go online and just go to www.plugshare.com. And then our latest app, which was launched last week, Green Charge, is actually only available for iPhone and iPad devices right now. So you can go in the App Store and find those.
All right, PlugShare and Green Charge. Armin Petrosian, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, stay with us. Tech Now. We'll be right back. And before we go, some good news about our nation's and our local economy. The jobless rate dropping, new startups on the rise. In fact, here's a startup that's all about new jobs.
You know what I think we need to do is...
Think of it as Resume 2.0, a new way to get hired from a Silicon Valley company called Get Hired.
No matter where you go in the nation, there's a demand for tech.
And Get Hired uses tech to help you find your next job. Programmers and engineers, amped on Red Bull, bringing job seekers and companies together with the help of social networking and cloud computing.
Look, there's a true demand out there to be able to connect employers and job seekers in a way that has never been done before. And if you can empower job seekers to stand out with multimedia, and if you can really empower them with those type of tools where they can see and track their progress, you have a very compelling system.
And with tech companies hiring at a pace we haven't seen in more than a decade, it makes sense to boost the search for qualified candidates with a dose of new technology.
What we've seen is that tech companies are going in any facet that they possibly can to find good quality candidates. And what our site in particular allows them to do is see video and audio resumes of candidates.
A new way to find a new job. And with that, we bring this week's show to a close. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you back here again next week.